All right, so today we're doing session 4, the refine portion of lesson 3. And for the refine sessions, it's more of a review of everything we've learned up until now. So we'll jump right into the warm up, which is a review of yesterday where we were given composite figures like this, and then we're either turn it into a left-hand side or right-hand side or upper or lower portion to find it. The reason we have to do that is because our volume formulas we've learned won't just give us the answer in one step. So what we have to do is, again, decide what we want to do. And there's no specific way to do it. You can do it like for this case, a left and right hand side or upper and lower. But I'm going to choose to go with left and right. All right, so I'll do the left and red just so it's easier to see. So let's see what we already have. I've got a measurement of 6 and a measurement of 2. So since I need the 3 measurements for volume, I've got 6 times 2, but I don't know this right here. This is my mystery measurement. And to find that, we look at some of the existing measurements that are here. But I noticed that all of these sides are the same since it's the same width. So if this is 4, then that means this is going to be 4. So let's try this out. So that gives us 12 times 4, and that gives me 48 on my left-hand side. All right, let's do the right-hand side. So I've got 2, and I've got the 4 right here. And you've got this one right here. So this is our mystery side. Now to find this one, I have to look down here. The whole width of this figure is 7 inches. This little portion is 2. So we've got to find the difference between the 7 and 2, which is 5. So that'll give me that. And that'll be 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 5. And that'll give me 40. Now to get the total answer for this, we've got to remember that all of these are in cubic inches. And when we're adding the cubic inches together, we'll get a cubic inch answer total. So I'll take my 48, and I'll add my 40, 8, and then it gives me 88 inches cubed is my answer. If we'd split this up into a lower and upper part, we would have gotten the same answer as well. But for this case, we only need to do it the one way. All right, go ahead and turn to page 49. We'll skip this first one because it's solved for you. We're going to go right to number 1 and do this one. All right, so the diagram shows the dimensions of a cement walkway. So as you know, most sidewalks don't go perfectly straight. Sometimes they turn and curve, just like the ones out in front of our school. But we want to know the total volume of the cement needed to pour in for this walkway. So a lot of construction people have to do this. So this is kind of a good real life example. So if I was doing this, I would take the diagram and I would split it up into a left-hand side and right-hand side. So I'll split up, I've got 10 and I've got 2. And if I look over here, I know this mystery side right here is 1 foot. So we'll do volume equals 10 times 2 times 1. And that gives me 20. On this side, I've got the 1 foot, I've got the 2 foot, and I've got this large size right here. And I've got this side right here. Now this is already 2 feet. If the whole thing is 8 feet wide, we take the difference between 8 and 2, which gives me a 6. This is 6 times 2 times 1. And this will give me 12 times 1 and give me 12. And then we add up both these together. We're going to have 20 plus 12 gives me 32, but that's not our final answer because we are working with feet. And if I'm going to order the amount of cement to fill in that sidewalk, I need to order 32 cubic feet for it. All right, go ahead and turn the page. For this question, I like this question. This gives us the total volume for it. So inside of here, just write 42 cubic meters. So we know what we can do to fill in this figure right here. So down below, let's write volume equals length times width times height. So normally we plug in the measurements for this, but we can start with this 42. We are missing the length, so we're just going to put a little fancy L there just like they did. But they gave us this 2 and this 3. And now we have 42 equals the length times 6. Now, there are ways we could find this answer, but we're just going to basically use logic and figure out what would we need to multiply by 6 to get 42. And as we're doing our reflex math, you know right away it's going to be a 7. So the length is going to be 7, and that will give us our final answer. All right, so we've got that done. Let's go on to the next question. Question 3. A cube is a rectangular prism whose sides are all the same. So we've actually used these in class, so we know that every side is going to be the same. What's the volume of a cube with side length of 2 feet? So if every side is the same, we have length times width times height. We'll have 2 times 2 times 2. And that will be 4 times 2. And that will give us an answer of 8 cubic feet. And some of these we just have to read the question. Danny chose B as the correct answer. How did he get this answer? I like these because we can kind of see what's, when we do make errors, how we made them. He added the sides. So instead of multiplying 2 times 2 times 2, he added 2 plus 2 plus 2. All right. Let's look at the top of the next page. A rectangular prism has a square base with side lengths of 5 centimeters and a height of 7 meters. What's the volume of the prism? So this is an interesting question. That's why I want to do this one. We have length times width times height. Now, we have been given the height, which is 7, but it only mentions 5 centimeters up here. The key to this one is the base is squared. And if you remember with geometry, squares has equal sides. So our length and width, if it's a square base, is going to be 5 times 5, just like this. So we will go in and do 25 times 7. And over here, let's use our space here to do that, to figure out 25 times 7. And that gives me 175. And look at that. That matches up with C right there. So far, so good. All right. I would like us to skip this question. We're going to skip 5. But I would like for us to do number 6. The diagram shows the dimensions of 2 identical rectangular prisms. We're going to underline this right here. Now, if both of these are identical, go and write that. That means the left and the right-hand side are absolutely the same. We're already given all the measurements we need for this. But here's the trick to it. We do 5 times 11 times 10. And that will give me 55 times 10. We multiply a number by 10. We just add on that 0 because it shifts it one place over in place value. Now, a lot of students will probably say this is their final answer, but we've only found the volume for one of these. So what we have to do for the final answer is add up this, or in this case, we could add it or multiply it by 2. Let's add it, though, to stay consistent. And that gives me a volume of 1,100 cubic meters. All right. And if we turn the page one more time, I'd like you to cross off 7 and 9. We're just going to do 8 before we introduce the homework. I figure a lot of this other stuff with the review is we've kind of got a good handle on things, but I wanted to split this up again. So I'm going to use red here to kind of show how I'm going to split this. Just like that. Okay, so we've got a left and a right hand side. So this side is, we've got 4, we've got 12. The mystery side is going to be this right here. But that's going to be 4 times 12 times 6. And that's going to give me 48 times 6. And for 48 times 6, that's going to give me 288. For the sake of time in the video, I'm not going to show the work for that one. This other side, you've got 6, you've got 2, and we're really concerned with what this side's going to be right here, this mystery side. So if the whole length of this object is 18, 12 of it is here. We need to find the difference between 12, or the difference between 18 and 12, and that will give me 6. So the volume for this one will be 6 times 6 times 2. That gives me 36 times 2. And that gives me 72. And to get our final answer, we're going to add 288 plus 72. And that will give me 360 cubic feet. All right, and like I said, we're skipping 9. Just again, due to sake of time. I know we only have a limited amount of time, and I'd like everyone to get a chance to get started on today's homework, which is IXL. It's going to be DD15. To find the volume of cubes and rectangular prisms, you'll be given 3 measurements, and you have to multiply them to get your answer. I think that's a great warm-up before we do our quiz on Friday.